We're following breaking news on News 6 at 4. I'm anchor Matt Austin, live in the newsroom with why the Jacksonville Jaguars are set to bring the NFL to Orlando.
Could your flight be delayed or canceled? Coming up, I spoke with passengers in Orlando about the flight reduction. They say right now it's a little bit like roulette.
It's warm right now. It's going to be a warm weekend, but there it is. The start of our big cold front that arrives early next week. As that front comes through, we could also have a few strong storms. We're going to pinpoint the weekend forecast at about 4:17.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6 at 4 p.m.
We are following breaking news. An NFL team is set to call Central Florida home, at least for a little while.
The Jacksonville Jaguars could play their home games in Orlando in 2027. News 6 anchor Matt Austin is live in the newsroom with what to expect. Matt.
Pretty interesting news here. As long as they get approval from NFL team owners, the Jags will be playing at Camping World Stadium. The move for the team is necessary because of a $2 billion renovation at Everbank Stadium in Jacksonville. Meanwhile, Camping World Stadium is expected to be finished with a $400 million facelift before the Jags come to town. Orlando City Commissioner Shan Rose told News 6 about the decision.
I've been advocating for the Jaguars to come here. It's a good opportunity. So what I would say, what separates us from Gainesville, because that was our competitor, is that we're family friendly. And so, like, the players can just come with their family. They can enjoy. It's more to Orlando than just coming to the game. And it gives the visitors an opportunity to really come and enjoy and see Orlando and everything we have to offer.
So we reached out to Florida Citrus Sports about this. Leaders tell us they've been working for many years to try to help provide the opportunity for Orlando to host an NFL regular season football team. They say they believe they put forward a competitive package for Jags games to be played here during the 2027 season. They say they look forward to the league's decision. So what do you think about all of this? We have a poll on clickorlando.com. We want to know, what events do you want to see more of at Camping World? You can select concerts, sporting events, or family events. So far, most people say sporting events. Not much of a surprise. Let us know what you think in this story on clickorlando.com.
All right, Matt, thank you. You can get breaking updates on this story sent straight to your smartphone with the News 6 app. Just search WKMG in your app store.
We are now well into the first day of FAA-mandated flight reductions across the country, and we're getting a real look at how it's impacting people here in Central Florida. This is a live look now at Orlando International Airport. MCO is part of the 40 airports impacted here. The airport is reducing flight schedules today by 4%, but will have to get to 10% of cuts by next week.
Your Orange County community correspondent Talisa Hampton is live at Orlando International with the ripple effect. So, Talisa, how bad is it there right now?
Well, Lisa and Ginger, you can see the passengers right here behind me. So they're trying to make their flight. I spoke with some earlier. They say their worst nightmare is seeing red, like on this board, for delayed or canceled flights. They're hoping they will not be impacted. As passengers rush to their gates, some could be met with these red lines over their scheduled flight that say delayed or canceled.
It's kind of like playing a little bit like roulette right now when flying.
The Orlando International Airport is among 40 major airports having to cut down on flights by 10%. The FAA noting increased reports of strain on the system from both pilots and air traffic controllers since the beginning of the government shutdown.
Honestly, I think it's ridiculous. They need to get it together and do what they have to do to satisfy the rest of the world. This is crazy.
Many airlines responding to the changes. American says across the board, all the reductions amount to 220 flights canceled each day, noting they would communicate and accommodate with customers. Delta and Southwest giving similar options, and the same goes for United, that states long-haul international flying would not be impacted, but regional and domestic would.
Then yeah, I'm concerned because I need to get home. So that would affect me.
I was really scared because I'm coming in from Baltimore and, people have work.
For some coming into Orlando, it was smooth sailing.
No, I was more nervous flying from BWI to here. But now I'm not worried at all.
Other passengers like them all flying to the EDC festival, hoping flying out won't be a hassle.
We could always rent a car. It's not that far. We could rent a car and drive.
Is it? No.
I have to get back to work.
And leaving Monday, hopefully.
So according to FlightAware, today at the Orlando International Airport, there have been 58 delays, 29 cancellations, but just about all of the airlines, they all say on their website, so instead of calling, because we've all been on hold multiple times, you can go to their website to try to figure out if you are impacted, what to do next. Reporting, I'm your community correspondent, Tylisa Hampton.
All right, Tylisa, thank you. As the longest government shutdown drags on, Senate Republicans are now planning a new approach to resolve the stalemate. The plan is to vote on advancing a House-passed continuing resolution, then amend it to include long-term appropriations bills and an extension of government funding beyond November 21st. On the other side of the aisle, Senate Democrats say they would vote to end the shutdown if Republicans agree to extend health care tax credits for 1 year. Meantime, the Trump administration is pushing to appeal a ruling to fully fund SNAP benefits through the month. Yesterday, a judge ruled the White House had until today to fund the SNAP payments and to find the funds to make full payments since it failed to comply with the judge's initial order to make partial payments. The White House is pushing to block court orders requiring it to spend more money than what's available in a contingency fund. Now, if you or someone you know needs help with food donations, we have compiled a list of websites to find programs near you. You can find them on our website, clickorlando.com. Just search where to find help with food in Central Florida. Taking a live look at our Launch Credit Union port cam at Port Canaveral, a lot of changes are coming to the weather.
Yeah, we're talking storms and a cold blast. Meteorologist Jonathan Kekes joins us now with what's going on out there. Jonathan.
Yeah, so if that ship is leaving right now and they might be going to the Bahamas, well, when they come back, I hope they have the heavier jacket when they get off of that ship back in Port Canaveral, likely on Monday. We are watching the potential for a few strong thunderstorms on Sunday. This is as a cold front comes through, a level 1 out of 5 risk here as that front plows down and brings us the coldest air of the season, potentially record cold air mass for this time of the year, especially right up and down the I-95 corridor and then kind of closer to the Florida Turnpike and points to the northeast. Air temperatures right now, we're warm. You can feel the humidity up there. We're back to the upper 70s at the Cape. Oviedo, we are at 82. We're at 81 degrees in Wildwood. Here is the front. You see where that little blue color starts to nudge back through parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, into the Dakotas. That's the leading edge of the colder air that's plunging through most of the eastern two-thirds of the country. By Monday afternoon, it arrives here. We'll talk about how cold it gets and time in those storm chances for your weekend at about 4:17, guys.
Jonathan, thank you. The results of Tuesday's elections in Orlando are official. The city's canvassing board has certified the results for District 1, 3, and District 5 commissioners. The two top finishers in District 3, as we've covered, are heading to a runoff. Your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti, was at today's board meeting where the candidate who lost District 5 raised concerns about her race. Mike.
Yeah, Ginger. So when we were here outside the Supervisor of Elections building yesterday, we told you about candidate Regina Hill's refusal to concede and her position that the results of her race were not legitimate. Well, the same story Friday. She's sticking to that position. That's despite the fact that current Commissioner Shan Rose, District 5, defeated Hill by nearly 20 percentage points. Obviously, there has been a lot of mistrust in elections over the last several years. Do you worry that you may be contributing to a climate of misinformation and disinformation?
I'm not concerned about other elections. I'm concerned about the integrity of District 5's race.
The former commissioner, who was removed from office last year after she was arrested and charged in connection to the alleged exploitation of an elderly woman, claims she, Regina Hill, was the victim of a rigged election. In an exclusive interview with us before the canvassing board meeting, and again during the meeting, Hill pointed to a sworn statement signed by someone
in collecting ballots for interim Commissioner Rose and signing those ballots,
claiming they witnessed a representative of the Rose campaign engaging in illegal ballot harvesting. Yet Hill has not provided evidence of that apparent ballot harvesting actually unfolding. She also made claims regarding illegal solicitation, and she raised suspicions about voting by mail in this election.
To my neighbors, supporters across District 5, this isn't about rivalry. This isn't about sore losing. This is about right and wrong. No campaign organization or public office should abuse our trust.
So you heard there, the results in District 5 are official. All 3 districts, those results were certified by Orlando's canvassing board today. But in Hill's mind, this is not over. She does have the opportunity to file a complaint in circuit court contesting the certification of the results. Every candidate has that chance within 10 days of the certification. She says that she is going to take advantage of that opportunity. As for Shan Rose, she was at the canvassing board meeting today. She did not want to talk to us on camera about Hill's allegations. Instead, when I asked her about it, she just pointed to the message that she posted on social media Tuesday on election night, the night of her victory, thanking her supporters and voters of District 5 and congratulating her opponents, including Hill, on the races they ran. We're live outside the Supervisor of Elections building. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
All right, Mike, thank you. Taking a live look over downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope cam. From sports to concerts, the City Beautiful will be busy with people and cars tonight. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez is outside Camping World Stadium, where people are already filling Tinker Field for the Electric Daisy Carnival.
Electric Daisy Carnival is officially back in the city of Orlando, but it's just one of the many events taking place this weekend, making for a very fun time, but it's also going to be very busy.
Tonight, the Orlando Magic play the Celtics. The Orlando Pride take on the Seattle Reign. Water for Elephants is at the Dr. Phillips Center, and EDC is bringing EDM to Orlando.
There's things Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every day.
Mayor Buddy Dyer tells me it's no accident the city is full of happenings.
Back in 2008, you'll remember that we conceived this community venues plan to do the Performing Arts Center, build what's now Kia Center, and to renovate what was then the Citrus Bowl. And we envision stuff like this, and you have to have the facilities to be able to handle events like this, but I think it's proven to be a real economic benefit for our community.
But with the excitement comes the logistics. Walking, parking, and driving will be intense as hundreds of thousands descend to Orlando. There are dozens of road closures planned for these events.
Parking's a little bit limited, so we're encouraging everybody to take various means of shuttles and buses and the things that we have available to get people from downtown.
While they bring in money and provide entertainment, it'll likely be a headache to get around.
What's the message to people who are going to be driving?
I would encourage, if you can avoid downtown, if you are not coming to one of the events, that's probably the best idea, because there probably will be a little bit of congestion.
EDC has already sold more than 100,000 three-day passes, and there are also single-day passes as well. So you can just imagine the amount of people that will be here. So you're encouraged to plan accordingly or stay away from the area if you can. Reporting in Orlando, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Well, after more than 200 years, the Farmer's Almanac is going away.
We'll take a look at its history and we'll explain why it is shutting down. Plus, from self-driving shuttles and delivery vehicles to electric rides, how major companies are showcasing the future of transportation right here in Central Florida.
News 6 Insider is sponsored by Orange County Library System.
The future of transportation is here. We're talking about self-driving cars, even planes.
Yeah, some leaders from the industry are meeting in Osceola County to talk about it. News 6's Angie Casada shows us how Central Florida is positioning itself at the center of this mobility revolution.
Doors closing.
After 3 days of testing, talking, and taking autonomous rides, the FAV Summit is wrapping up at Champions Gate. And organizers say Florida is ready to shift from pilot projects to full-scale deployments. Former state senator Jeff Brandes knows firsthand the potential.
The 23 million residents and 150 million tourists make Florida the perfect state for the deployment of these technologies. That, and it doesn't snow, right? So snow is a hard problem for this technology. And so we're able to kind of cheat that hard problem by deploying in Florida. So whether it be electric vertical takeoff and landing, which we're talking about, or self-driving vehicles, Florida's going to be the key hub for that conversation.
From self-driving shuttles and delivery vehicles to electric rides and connected road tech, companies from around the country showcased how automation can make communities safer, faster, and more accessible.
Yeah, guys, check this out. There's no hands on the wheel. We're actually riding in one of the autonomous shuttles showcased here at the summit, and leaders say this is the goal, technology that blends into everyday life, so your morning commute could look a lot more like this.
We feel like seeing is believing. We want people to experience the future of public transportation, being able to sit in our car, listen to this great welcome music, experience a static ride. That's going to really put people over the edge to understand what we're trying to envision.
The summit focused on getting these ideas off the expo floor and onto Florida roads. The Florida Policy Project and Central Florida Expressway Authority say the next step is moving from small pilots to deployments people can use daily. Organizers say they expect new projects, more test sites, and more autonomous vehicles in Central Florida in the next year. In Orlando, Angie Casada, News 6.
All right, we're going to check in now with meteorologist Jonathan Kagas, who is pinpointing our weekend forecast for us. Another beautiful day out there today, Jonathan.
Very nice. If you like it on the warmer side, a little more humidity to go with that as well. We were talking about the warming trend really starting yesterday and then building today and over the weekend. There are our air temperatures hanging around 80 degrees in New Smyrna Beach. Rather than taking notes over the next couple of minutes, just download that free News 6 weather app. It'll help get you through the weekend as well, as we're talking near record warmth and then eventually near record cold on the other side of the weekend. Kissimmee, good evening. We are at 82 degrees. Here's a live look in downtown Orlando with our Light Orlando Delivering Hope Skycam. We are back to the lower 80s. The breeze right now out of the south and east at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. We were talking yesterday that we would shift that wind component and we'll have to pump in a little bit of that extra moisture. You can feel it. It's certainly nothing oppressive, certainly not like the middle of summer, but you can certainly tell we do have a little bit of extra humidity in our atmosphere out there. Nice evening coming our way. Just a stray opportunity for a quick hitting downpour south and east of I-4. Otherwise, most of us are dry with just a few passing clouds. We're at 71 degrees by 9. We'll dip into the mid-60s on the other side of midnight. Should be a pretty mild morning when you wake up to start the weekend. We're at 65 in Oviedo when you start the day. Tomorrow, 61 in Ocala, staying in the low 60s in Denellen. Now here's a look at your afternoon.
Your forecast is sponsored by Renewal by Andersen.
Another warm day today, or tomorrow, I should say. We're back to the middle 80s. Rain chances at 20% tomorrow. I think we'll increase the least scale of it anyway, so you have better opportunity to see a passing downpour. Still, most of us will be dry with a mix of clouds and sunshine again tomorrow. Clouds and rain forecast again overnight. You see a few of those extra clouds come through. Just a quick hitting downpour possible. I do think we will see more downpours in the mix than what future clouds and rain is depicting. Still, though, I think most of us are going to be on the drier side. Then once we get into Sunday, here is when the front comes through. You see that jagged thing back over my shoulder closer to the banner? That is our big cold front. A couple of scattered thunderstorms try to develop out ahead of it. A few of those could be on the rowdy side, so we'll be watching for an isolated strong storm or two. I don't think the coverage of these storms is all that widespread. Still, though, they could pack a punch. That front goes through, we clear things out, and it's going to be much, much cooler. Those temperatures fall throughout most of the day ahead, on Monday, that is. Feels like forecast starting on Sunday, going to Tuesday. With the humidity factored in tomorrow, it's going to feel more like the mid to upper 80s. That front crosses early Monday morning, and then we start to take that tumble. By the time you wake up on Tuesday morning, with the wind factored in Orlando, we're talking about wind chills into the middle 30s. It's going to be more like the upper 20s for us northwest of I-4. It's going to be a stiff breeze, and it's going to be very, very cold with the actual air temperature as well. Rain chances on Sunday, 30%. We could see a few strong storms. We'll be watching that one closely. 66 on Monday with some sunshine. The caveat is it's going to be deceptive if you don't like the chill. Again, most of us wake up in the 30s and 40s come Tuesday morning, guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Since 1818, people have used the Farmer's Almanac for weather, moon phases, and the best days to do something outdoors.
But now it's going away. We're taking a look at this end of an era next.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Light Orlando, delivering hope together.
I'm meteorologist Michelle Morgan. Do you read the Farmer's Almanac? Well, the Farmer's Almanac announced Thursday that its 2026 edition will be the last. This 208-year-old Maine publication is different from the old Farmer's Almanac, which has been around since 1792. The Almanac said financial challenges in today's chaotic media environment made it hard to keep publishing, and online access will end next month. It's known for long-range forecasts based on sunspots, tides, and planetary positions. More of a big picture look at the season. Modern meteorologists use radar, satellites, and advanced computer modeling for day-to-day forecast. I reached out to several farmers across Central Florida, and none of them use it. The Almanac also includes gardening tips, moon phases, fishing advice, and a best days calendar for things like potting, egg setting, or even getting married. If you're interested, the final edition will be available for purchase.
Well, a road leading to a part of a neighborhood is finally getting some repairs.
Record rainfall washed it out, forcing families to evacuate.
I don't know if all of you received that emergency alert that night about flooding, stay in place, shelter in place, and all of that. That's only the second time in the history of the state of Florida that that button was actually activated.
The repairs going on and when it's expected to be done, especially with Thanksgiving just weeks away. That's next.
I'm Catherine Silver in Seminole County, where we're learning new information about a suspect deputies arrested near a school.
Welcome back. We're following several top stories right now.
City of Orlando leaders say the Jacksonville Jags are coming to downtown. It is a temporary move as the team's home field, Everbank Stadium, prepares for a massive $2 billion renovation. This is forcing the team to find a new home for the 2027 season. Meantime, Camping World Stadium is undergoing its own $400 million transformation just in time for the team. NFL owners still have to approve the move at a meeting in December. We are now well into the first day of FAA-mandated flight reductions across the country. MCO is part of the 40 airports impacted. The airport is reducing flight schedules today by 4%, but will have to get to 10% by next week. According to FlightAware, there have been 58 delays and 29 cancellations so far at Orlando International. Former Orlando City Commissioner Regina Hill refuses to concede following her loss in Tuesday's election. Current Commissioner Shan Rose defeated Hill by nearly 20 percentage points. The canvassing board certified the election earlier today. We are following some breaking news. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has announced that it is working to fully fund SNAP benefits to fully comply with a federal court order. The agency says the process should be completed later today. This comes after a weeks-long saga that has threatened vital food assistance for nearly 42 million Americans due to the federal government shutdown. Yesterday, a judge ruled the White House had until today to find the funds to make full payments, which the Trump administration appealed.
Well, help is on the way for a neighborhood where families had to leave their homes, and there is a road leading to a cul-de-sac in the Spring Ridge Estates subdivision in Eustis. That's what we're talking about. 20 homes had to be evacuated when recent rainfall washed out the road and damaged the only way for residents to get in. News 6's Mark Lehman is getting an update from the city after leaders signed off on funding for repairs.
With a week passing since this washout, there's been a lot of activity happening here on Creek Run Lane. This is a walking path set up for the residents who have been evacuated from their homes. A big reason for all of this is the collaboration between the community and Eustis. The city's fire chief is now saying because of all of this, he's optimistic that families on the other side of the bridge will be able to return home in a few weeks. Here's a closer look at the repairs happening in Spring Ridge Estates. New pipes have been brought in and excavators are digging out dirt. Water has been diverted around the culvert that was washed away October 30th. All of this happened a few days after a record 19 inches of rain fell in Eustis. Last night, city leaders authorized giving money to the community to help jumpstart repairs. While it's private property, the city says it's a safety issue because city-owned utilities run through the culvert and more damage could be done if they waited any longer. Chief Michael Swanson saying this will be a permanent fix.
We're probably going to lay out extra rock and shore that out. And also, a lot of things have changed as far as maintenance and that kind of thing. I think those are going to be addressed. I believe this will be a permanent fix that'll last decades.
There's no final price tag for this project, but the city is putting early estimates between $500,000 to $700,000. The HOA would have several years to pay the city back. Right now, they're looking at seeing what's covered by insurance as well as applying for help from federal resources. And as for the families who have been displaced, out of the 20 of them, 14 are staying with family and friends, and arrangements have been made at hotels for 6 of those families. The goal for all of this is that those families will be able to return home in time for Thanksgiving. In Eustis, Mark Lehman, News 6.
We are learning new details about a crash where a driver hit a teen girl. Investigators believe the driver may have had a medical episode. The crash happened this morning on South Apopka Vineland Road near Conroy Windermere Road, right by Olympia High School. Troopers say while the teen was crossing, the 65-year-old driver may have had a medical episode and ran a red light. The driver hit the 15-year-old. First responders took the teen to the hospital in serious condition. Troopers say when they finally caught up with the driver, she said she lost consciousness and was unaware that she hit the teen. She was then able to drive herself to the hospital. The crash remains under investigation.
Deputies say they're investigating a deadly shooting as a possible stand your ground case, and the shooter is no longer in custody. It happened late last night in the area of Southwest 49th Avenue Road, west of I-75, just south of Ocala. Deputies say they were responding to a call about a reckless driver when they found out a 37-year-old man was shot after getting into a fight. The man later died at the hospital. The sheriff's office says the shooter cooperated with deputies and they released him from custody.
Parents who got an alert about Seminole High School on lockdown yesterday are wondering what happened, so we are following up for you. We are learning who deputies tracked down close to the campus in Sanford and why, and what else his history with law enforcement shows. Your Seminole County community correspondent, Catherine Silver, is live at the jail with the latest on this for us. Catherine?
This is the arrest report for Travarius Holly, and in it, deputies say he is a prolific offender. The 28-year-old just faced a judge here at the jail for the first time this afternoon.
Okay, Mr. Travarius Holly? Yes, sir.
Before Travarius Holly stood in front of a judge at the jail Friday, a detective with Seminole County's Gang and Habitual Offender Task Force spotted this Range Rover with blacked out windows here on Maple Street. Deputies believe Holly was the driver. When he backed out and headed down the street, they tried to stop him, but the sheriff's office says Holly took off. And they watched as he sped through this neighborhood onto Lake Avenue and West 25th Street. and ended here on Chase, where an arrest report for Holly says deputies didn't just find the Range Rover, they also found a handgun that they say was tossed on top of a trash bag. Nothing in Holly's arrest report shows that anything happened at Seminole High School, just in the area, which is why the school district says they sent out an alert Thursday out of an abundance of caution. When we found out deputies arrested a convicted felon who they think had a handgun, we wanted to know more about Holly's past. Online records show he spent time in and out of prison over the last decade, where he served time for carjacking, aggravated assault, and a weapons charge, all out of Seminole County.
Also, you're not to possess any firearms, any weapons of any kind. No ammunition, no firearms, no knives, no nunchucks, nothing of this sort.
And Holly is now being held here at the jail on a $20,000 bond. You heard the judge. If he gets out, he will not be allowed to have any weapons. He also will be required to have a GPS monitor. We'll keep you updated. I'm live in Seminole County. Catherine Silver, News 6.
All right, Catherine, thank you. The Orange County mayor is officially putting in his bid to become Florida's next governor. Last night, Mayor Jerry Demings held a rally setting the stage for what is shaping up to be a competitive Democratic primary. Your Orange County community correspondent Jarrell Baker was there.
Your next governor, Jerry Demings.
Over 100 people cheering Thursday night as Val Demings introduced her husband, Jerry Demings, as he officially announced his bid to be Florida's next governor, walking out to the Shaft theme song at his first rally in Orlando.
Now, I'm running to be the next governor of the great state of Florida.
The Orange County mayor filed for governor last week. Now, during his speech, he tapped into frustrations about the cost of living crisis in the state and the ongoing political division. He also called out state leaders, including Governor Ron DeSantis and Chief Financial Officer Blaise Ngolia, who accused Orange County under Demings' leadership of overcharging taxpayers through his DOGE audit.
Call me woke. I don't know what they mean by woke.
It's the opposite of sleep.
But after nearly 4.5 decades of dedicated, unblemished public service, they woke me up.
While Demings is well known in Central Florida due to his years as Orange County Sheriff, Orlando Police Chief, and Orange County Mayor, he joins a race with several frontrunners known statewide, including Democratic candidate David Jolly, who spoke with News 6 this week.
I wish Jerry Demings well. He has had a very distinguished and long career. His decision to run for governor is a personal decision, I'm sure, for he and Val, and I anticipate he will get out there and speak to voters just like I am.
After the rally, Demings also took aim at one of his opponents, Byron Donalds.
Byron Donalds has never been a crisis manager or leader. He has never worked at this granular level from being a beat cop to where I'm sitting today.
He says he plans to hold several more rallies before Election Day next year, all while continuing to serve as Orange County mayor. In Orange County, Jarrell Baker, News 6.
Jerry Demings' story in Orlando is a series of firsts. He was the first Black Orlando police chief, the first Black Orange County sheriff, and the first Black Orange County mayor. We posted everything you need to know about him as he works to become Florida's first Black governor in this story at clickorlando.com. Experts say the mayor does face an uphill battle in a state that has not seen a Democratic governor in the 21st century. Some of the Republican candidates running for governor include former Florida House Speaker Paul Renner and U.S. Congressman Byron Donalds, who already has an endorsement from President Trump.
From page to stage, a Broadway show based on a book is making a stop here in Central Florida.
The show has acrobatics, aerialists, and puppetry.
We had mats training.
At the beginning, yes, but no longer.
How the lead actors had to learn trapeze work to be in Water for Elephants, the musical. That's next.
Nice evening across Central Florida tonight. Just a stray shower in the mix. We are tracking the chance for a few strong storms on the back half of your weekend before it turns really cold. We're going to have the wild ride in the temperature department at about 447.
And as we head to break, we want to remind you to check out our primetime schedule on News 6 Plus. We have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight. That's at 9 o'clock. Go in depth as we answer your weather questions at 9:30. Then watch the late news an hour earlier. It's all tonight on News 6 Plus. Download our streaming app for free. Search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.
Water for Elephants, the musical, is at the Dr. Phillips Center now through Sunday. I'm News 6 producer Brooke Savage. I have Zachary Keller, who plays Jacob in the show, and I have Helen Krasinski, who plays Marlena. They are both here to tell us all about it. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
So first off, tell us, what can people expect from this show?
Yeah, I think it's a show that really has something for everyone. It's got acrobats flying overhead. It's got amazing dance numbers. There's obviously some singing in there. There's some acting. We get to do some trapeze work. So it's got something for everyone. I think it's also a story that anyone can really identify with.
I did notice that you both were not just singing and acting and dancing. You were doing some trapeze work. And it made me wonder, did you learn this for the show, or do you have this background already?
Yeah, we neither of us had any trapeze work before starting this process, and we start small. We started with the trapeze about 2 feet off the ground, and then eventually got to the height that it is at now. And it was intimidating, very intimidating at first, but luckily I had my ballet training to rely on in order for to get some of the lines. But other than that, it was all new.
So what is the main message you hope people take from this show, especially since there's so much symbolism in it?
Yeah, I think I'll talk about, what the show's about. It's about a young man, Jacob Jankowski, who I play, who after he loses everything that matters most in the world, he decides to hop on a train, and he comes to find out that it's a traveling circus. And so, I think it's really a story about grief and loss, and there's a love story baked in there, chosen family, and I think our director, Jessica Stone, says it best, is the question that it asks is, who are you when you lose everything? And I think that's like I said earlier, that's a story that anyone can really identify with.
So is there anything else you want to bring up about the show?
I would say get your tickets.
Get your tickets. There's something for everyone, and I feel like, I don't know, you feel hopeful walking away from it.
Absolutely. I do love the hopeful message at the end for sure. Well, again, I posted everything you need to know about Water for Elephants, the musical, at the Dr. Phillips Center on clickorlando.com/setting the stage. In the podcast studio, Brooke Savage, News 6.
I got to see the show earlier this week. The acrobatics are amazing.
Really?
Kind of remind you of Cirque du Soleil, but also the puppetry. I was feeling a lot of kind of Lion King-esque puppetry.
So you loved it?
It was really impressive,
Nice.
So you can get the latest theater, arts, and entertainment news sent right to your email with our Setting the Stage newsletter. It came out today where you can see my review.
I was going to ask if you wrote a review.
I sure did. Just go to clickorlando.com/newsletter to subscribe. I actually read the book for the first time this summer. It's based on a 2006 bestseller. So, it's a great
you can
show.
read the book and then see it come to life on stage.
Which I was curious to see how they were going to make that happen.
And there it is.
Yeah.
All right. Meteorologist Jonathan Kakis joins us now. We are in store for a really roller coaster of a ride as far as temps are concerned.
It's the best way to describe it. I mean, we are in shorts. It's a little humid outside. That is all going to change. The temperature difference here between Orlando and Minneapolis and Bismarck, about 40 degrees right now. This is the makings, the leading edge of the cooler air. That's our cold front pushing through northern Iowa and southern Wisconsin right now. By Monday morning, this will pass through central Florida. We're at 82 right now, but you see where the chill is. And again, this one is going to bring unseasonably cold air to central Florida, maybe even record cold air in some cases as we wake up on Tuesday morning. As far as the weekend goes, though, it is going to be very warm. We're on the near record side. On the warm side of things, we're at 86 on Saturday, just a 20% shot for a couple of downpours. Again, likely staying within a couple degrees of the records. We're at a 30% shot for a few storms on Sunday. I don't think the storms are going to be widespread on Sunday, but the few that do develop could pack a little bit of a punch, thanks to that cold front slicing through. Again, still within the ballpark of some record high temperatures on Sunday as well. And then the big temperature crash happens. Again, highs on Sunday going to be back into the middle 80s. But by the time you wake up on Tuesday morning, we're talking lower 40s. And I still think beyond I-4, northwest of I-4 for us in parts of Sumter, Lake, Volusia, interior Volusia anyway, in Marion County, we're talking about the possibility and likelihood for 30s coming down the pipeline. Orlando, we're at 43 when you wake up on Tuesday morning. That's close to the record of 39. Daytona Beach, I don't think we're breaking any records, but it is going to be cold. Sanford, we're going to be in the ballpark. 42 is the forecast. 39 is the record. And then forget about us in Ocala. It is going to be very cold. Low to mid 30s in parts of Marion County. The record is 34. So record watch on the low temperature side when you wake up on Tuesday morning. Port Canaveral, Brevard County, it is a very nice evening right now. That's a live look with our Launch Credit Union camera. Temperatures right now into the upper 70s. Sunshine out there, at least filtered through a little bit with some of those higher thin clouds passing by. We're at 62 in the Villages. Kissimmee, we are at 66 degrees. Now here's a look at your afternoon.
Your forecast is sponsored by Ramjack.
Rain chances tomorrow at about 20%. We're back into the middle 80s, and you'll notice the humidity sticking around, not only for tomorrow, not only for Sunday. You will need the lip balm, though, come Monday. This air that's coming in is so dry. So find that now and buy a couple because you always lose them within a couple days anyway. The one positive thing, again, as we continue to talk about, these strong early fronts continue to suppress anything and already helping to cool the southeast Atlantic, the southwest Atlantic, and the northern Gulf from any kind of tropical activity. So we are good there for all intents and purposes. The season is over. We have officially 23 days to go. 30% shot for downpours on Sunday. A couple of those storms could be on the stronger side, so I'll be watching that closely on the back half of the weekend for you guys. Mid 60s on Monday. That's for a high. Lots of sunshine, and then the temperatures continue to plummet for Tuesday morning, 30s and 40s. Don't forget, it is going to be windy, too. We're going to have a wind chill in the upper 20s and lower 30s across all of Central Florida, guys.
A forecast and beauty tips. Jonathan, you offer it all. Thank you. There's a lot going on across Central Florida this weekend.
Yeah, from community runs to cultural festivals and Veterans Day celebrations. We'll have your 6 things to do next.
Coming up on Monday, another local city set to sign off on cameras to catch school zone speeders. Where these cameras could be installed, all in the name of safety.
Plus, we've got you covered when it comes to the big-time cool-down expected early next week.
Candace will have updates every 10 minutes. We'll see you for News 6 Mornings on Monday, starting at 6.
I'm meteorologist Michelle Morgan. Looking for something fun to do this weekend? Well, warmer weather is on the way and there are great community events happening this weekend. First up, the Autism Speaks and Power Walk and 5K Run at Cranes Roost Park will be happening this Sunday, celebrating community and inclusion. I spoke with the Community Engagement Manager, Colleen Almodovar, about what you can expect.
So by coming together, we are showing support to our Central Florida autistic community by bringing awareness and as well just having a good day and share our experiences. Just like me, I'm an autism mom, and I think that this kind of events is where I feel heard and I feel seen.
It starts at 9 a.m. In Leesburg, the Veterans Day Parade rolls through this Saturday at 11 a.m. on Main Street. Come out with your heartfelt gratitude and big community pride, and don't forget to stay hydrated. This weekend through November 11th, veterans and active military members get free admission to the Central Florida Zoo. The Orlando Japan Festival is this Sunday from 11 a.m. through 5 at Kissimmee Lakefront Park. Enjoy music, dance, delicious food, and free admission and parking. The Space Coast Art Festival hits the Avenue Vieira this weekend, Saturday 9 to 5, Sunday 10 to 4. Enjoy unique art, family-friendly fun, free admission, and parking. Join the community event Saturday at Cross Life Church in Oviedo starting at 9. There will be food, games, live entertainment, and 250 plus vendors. And if you have something fun happening in your town, let me know. I've been getting so many fun events from viewers just like you. Just head over to clickorlando.com or a News 6 app. Just click Contact Us.
News 6 at 5 is next.
Anchor Matt Austin is in the newsroom with what's ahead.
We are continuing to follow some big news in Central Florida. Camping World Stadium is set to host the Jacksonville Jaguars, at least temporarily. We'll tell you when and how this deal came about. And some breaking news into our newsroom after a little boy was killed by dogs in his neighborhood earlier this year, who his parents are now trying to hold accountable. And your forecast is only minutes away. Ooh, beautiful look at the beach here. Don't forget, you can stream all of our newscasts and live cameras like this look at Daytona Beach for free anytime on News 6 Plus. We'll be right back.
Breaking at 5, a City Beautiful blitz. The Jacksonville Jaguars will soon call Orlando home. A closer look at the timeline to kickoff. Plus, we're following the impacts of fewer flights at Orlando International Airport. And later, election results are official, but one candidate isn't satisfied.
This isn't about sore losing. This is about right and wrong.
Why she says she's not conceding. You're watching News 6 at 5.
Taking a live look at Camping World Stadium tonight, where 2 years from now, 65,000 people could be cheering for a pro football team. Orlando is getting an NFL team, at least temporarily.
So News 6 has learned the Jacksonville Jaguars intend to call Orlando home during the team's planned renovations to their stadium in Jacksonville. That would make falls in Central Florida pretty interesting. We have some team coverage of a jam-packed Central Florida weekend. Before the Jags even get here, your Orlando community correspondent Jarrell Baker's covering a lot of big events, including EDC, which is underway now, and sports director Jamie Say is outside Inter & Co Stadium as the Orlando Pride gear up for a massive playoff game.
But we begin in the future with News 6's Laverne McGee covering what we know about the Jacksonville Jags looking to call Orlando home.
We just got the word that the Jaguars have decided to move forward with coming to Orlando. So next is to go to NFL.
The temporary move comes as the Jacksonville Jaguars' home field, Everbank Stadium, prepares for a massive $2 billion renovation. That project is forcing the team to find a new home for the 2027 season. And Orlando will be ready. Camping World Stadium is undergoing its own $400 million transformation. The ambitious makeover will expand seating to 65,000 fans, add premium suites, and wrap the stadium in a striking new metallic exterior. Construction teams will be racing to complete new upper bowls and modernize amenities by summer 2027, just in time for the Jags' arrival.
What separates us from Gainesville, because that was our competitor, is that we're family friendly. And so, like, the players can just come with their family. They can enjoy. It's more to Orlando than just coming to the game.
I'm Sports Director Jamie Say, live in downtown Orlando, commenting further on the Jags coming to Orlando. What it still needs is approval by the NFL owners, which I think everybody expects to get, but you never know what can happen. But again, it does need approval by the NFL. Should the Jaguars come and play here in 2027, I'll tell you what, this will do a ton for our city in terms of excitement on Sunday. The Jags, we know, is an up-and-coming team. Who knows how good they'll be 2 seasons from now. Plus, this means for NFL fans in our city, if you're a fan of another team, well, perhaps that club is coming to play the Jags. So we will see, and we will definitely keep you updated on all the happenings with the Jags coming to play at Camping World Stadium in 2027, pending the NFL's approval. Now, I'm a few blocks up from Camping World Stadium. There's a lot going on in the city tonight, from the Electric Daisy Carnival to the Orlando Magic, but I'm outside Inter & Co Stadium to talk about the Orlando Pride, because the women's soccer team is about to kick off in a huge game, the NWSL quarterfinals against the Seattle Reign at 8 o'clock. The Pride were clearly the best team in the league a year ago, and they hope to prove that again starting tonight.
Banda up against Morgan. This has been quite a battle so far.
2024 was a magical ride for the Orlando Pride.
It is Orlando Pride who are the NWSL champions,
culminating in a championship parade through downtown Orlando.
It's huge motivation.
This season, the Pride discovered what it means to be a defending champ, that every rival wants what the Pride have.
Racing Louisville has the lead.
A long summertime winless streak and a season-ending injury to star Barbara Banda nearly derailed the Pride's quest to repeat.
I think we always knew that we were a resilient group, but this year it really felt like we were down bad.
But they overcame the challenges to earn the 4th seed in the playoffs and tonight's home quarterfinal against Seattle.
You know, we've faced all these challenges, but we're in a fantastic position now, and so we can't take that for granted.
Their dream to defend is still alive.
Having the first game be a home game makes all the difference in the world. It's a huge advantage.
Playoffs, it's do or die. You win or you go home. And so for us, I think it's literally all out.
Jonathan Kagas. Hi, Jonathan.
How's it going, Jamie? Yeah, it is going to be a pretty nice night for some soccer this evening. Just a straight opportunity for a shower over the next hour or so. I think that's going to stay southeast of the stadium. Temperatures back to the mid-70s, a touch more humid through the evening. We're back to the lower 70s by 8 o'clock. And then as the game wraps up, hopefully with the Pride W, we're back to the upper 60s. So a very nice and relatively comfortable evening. Now, once we get to the second half of the weekend, we are going to watch for the opportunity for a few rowdy thunderstorms. I don't think the coverage on Sunday is all that high, but the few storms that do develop could be on the stronger side. Level 1 out of 5 risk here as we go into Sunday. That's that green color on your screen, especially to the east of Orlando, north, and then closer to the I-95 corridor for the day on Sunday. That's because of a strong cold front that blasts in early Monday morning and brings in, no doubt, the coldest air of the season. We're going to talk much more about that coming up at about 5:17. But for more on all of the events going on around town, we're going to send things out to Jarrell Baker.
Now, right across the street here on South Tampa Avenue, you can see several people making their way into EDC. It's an event that's going to be stretching multiple days this weekend. However, it's not the only event this weekend. The Orange County Medical Director's Office says that they're working with local EMS, fire, and law enforcement agencies and are fully prepared for the influx of people this weekend. Now, EDC alone is expected to generate over $100 million for the local economy, as well as bring thousands of music lovers from all over. This weekend's festivities also include the Orlando Magic home game, the Orlando Pride's playoff game, and the musical Water for Elephants at the Dr. Phillips Center. Now, while many are at EDC looking to have fun, they're also looking to plan for safety.
Making sure that, they're checking everything they're supposed to. And to be honest, is like mainly safety is just make sure you're with a good group. I think that changes for everything. Even the security is not as good as it needs to. Being with a good group of support that you can be with that are looking out for you.
The city is planning dozens of road closures for these events. Mayor Buddy Dyer recommends that people considering using the many transportation options available to get around and to avoid the area if you don't plan to attend any of the events. Now, here at EDC specifically, there will be multiple first responders on scene. The goal is to make sure you can treat people here if the need arises, so that way you can avoid flooding the local hospitals. We'll tell you more information as it becomes available here in Orange County. Jarrell Baker, News 6.
All right, Jarrell, thank you. We are following some more breaking news tonight. The parents of Michael Millette, the Volusia County boy who was killed by dogs in his neighborhood, are now suing their HOA. According to a complaint just into our newsroom, Millette's parents say the HOA was negligent in failing to keep the front gate in working condition despite knowing it was broken, allowing the dogs to come into the community from an outside neighborhood. It also alleges the HOA knew there was an issue with the dogs entering the community before the attack happened. The lawsuit seeks damages in excess of $50,000. Now to the ongoing impacts of the government shutdown. Today, major U.S. airports are seeing reduced air traffic. This comes a day after the FAA announced phased in-flight reductions because of staffing shortages linked to the government shutdown.
So I was at Orlando International yesterday, just one of the airports seeing fewer flights starting today. News 6 anchor Ginger Gadsden joins us in studio as the airport begins to see those reduced flights.
Yeah, it's starting to happen. Orlando International Airport saw a 4% reduction in flights today. But by next week, that number will climb to 10%. It is one of 36 airports across the country to make cuts on those flights. Now, there have already been around 6 delays and 24 cancellations today. It's not known how many of those are directly impacted by the FAA ruling. The FAA says there have been increased reports of strain on the system from both pilots and air traffic controllers since the beginning of the government shutdown, leaving many travelers coming to Central Florida from out of town frustrated.
Honestly, I think it's ridiculous. They need to get it together and do what they have to do to satisfy the rest of the world. This is crazy.
Airlines suggest going to their website to double check if your flight has been impacted. That's always a good idea. And it looks like some people are not messing around with potential flight impacts. Hertz says one-way car rental reservations for the coming weekend are up 20% compared to this time last year. Matt?
All right, Ginger, thank you. Well, a beloved member of the Orlando Magic family has passed away. Richie Adubato was Magic's coaching staff member from 1994 to 97, including a stint as the interim head coach. He passed away. Younger fans who may not remember him on the hardwood may recognize his voice. He more recently served as a radio analyst for the team from 2005 to 2020. He was 87 years old. The team put out a statement saying, in part, Richie's legacy lives on in every story and lesson he shared. A coach who turned the gym into a place of connection and joy, impacting countless lives with warmth, humor, and unforgettable spirit. Our thoughts and prayers are with his wife, Carol, and the entire Adubato family.
Election results from this week are being finalized in Central Florida, but one candidate is questioning the results, what she is saying about the numbers and her big loss. That's next at 5.
And later, a woman is facing charges accused of making a false report. It turns out investigators say the evidence that she had was fake. You're watching News 6 at 5. We'll be right back.
Today's Port Canaveral Cam is sponsored by Launch Credit Union.
The results of this past Tuesday's elections in Orlando are official. The city's canvassing board has certified the results for commissioner in Districts 1, 3, and as we've reported, the two top finishers in District 3 are heading to a runoff. They also certified them for District 5 today.
Your Orlando community correspondent Mike Valenti was at today's board meeting where one of those candidates who lost District 5 raised concerns about the election.
Yeah, Matt, that's right. We told you yesterday that Regina Hill is refusing to concede and that she's claiming that the results of her race are not legitimate. She is sticking by that position in front of the canvassing board today, despite the fact that current Commissioner of District 5, Shan Rose, defeated Hill by nearly 20 percentage points. Obviously, there has been a lot of mistrust in elections over the last several years. Do you worry that you may be contributing to a climate of misinformation and disinformation?
I'm not concerned about other elections. I'm concerned about the integrity of District 5's race.
The former commissioner, who was removed from office last year after she was arrested and charged in connection to the alleged exploitation of an elderly woman, claims she, Regina Hill, was the victim of a rigged election. In an exclusive interview with us before the canvassing board meeting, and again during the meeting, Hill pointed to a sworn statement signed by someone
in collecting ballots for interim Commissioner Rose and signing those ballots,
claiming they witnessed a representative of the Rose campaign engaging in illegal ballot harvesting. Yet Hill has not provided evidence of that apparent ballot harvesting actually unfolding. She also made claims regarding illegal solicitation, and she raised suspicions about voting by mail in this election.
To my neighbors, supporters across District 5, this isn't about rivalry. This isn't about sore losing. This is about right and wrong. No campaign organization or public office should abuse our trust.
So the results of District 5 are official. That means this race, as well as the two others, are over. But in Regina Hill's mind, this is not over. She told me that she plans to file a complaint in circuit court contesting the certified results. Canada has the opportunity to do that within 10 days of the certification. As for Shan Rose, she was at the canvassing board meeting today. I asked her about the allegations. She didn't really want to entertain them or go on camera. Instead, she pointed to the message that she put out on social media on Tuesday, the night she won this race, thanking the supporters and voters of District 5 and congratulating her opponents, including Regina Hill, on the races they ran. We're live outside the Supervisor of Elections building. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
All right, Mike, thank you. You can find election results from races across Central Florida right now at clickorlando.com.
Time now to get a check of your weather with meteorologist Jonathan Kagas. The pickleball courts were a little warm today, my friend.
Give it a couple days, maybe Monday. You might want. It's going to feel much more refreshing, much more crisp out there. Good day for the beach, though, and soak in the last nice weekend before we have some of the cooler, or at least nice beach weekend anyway, to get in there. It's going to be we're talking mid to upper 80s today over the next couple of days. The News 6 weather app, free download. You can stay up to date with all of the changes, and we are going to be whipped around like crazy over the next couple of days as we have a strong cold front inbound. Right now, we're back to the mid 70s. The breeze out of the east. Just do watch out for some of the rip current risks that continue along the eastern seaboard. We're at 80 in Leesburg right now. Good evening in Mount Dora. We are at 82. Palm Coast, we are at 75 degrees. Tomorrow morning with some clouds around, I think we start things off on the warm side again. We're back to the middle 60s through the I-4 corridor, low 60s along I-75, and then still hanging around the 70-degree mark closer to the Space Coast. Now here's a look at your Saturday afternoon.
Your forecast is sponsored by Payne Law.
Air temperatures back to the mid-80s, so another warm day, another muggy day, relatively speaking anyway. Rain chances back up to 20% tomorrow. I think most of us are dry, but don't be surprised if we do get some of these quick-hitting downpours out ahead of our strong cold front that crosses late Sunday night and then especially early Monday morning. Clouds and rain forecast, this is all that the model is projecting. I think we're going to see a few more downpours than what the model is showing here late into the afternoon on Saturday. Some of these could contain some lightning, so just be on the lookout for that if your plans take you outside. And then we're watching for the chance for a few rowdy thunderstorms on Sunday afternoon through the early evening. You see the cold front, that's that jagged blue thing just to the corner of your screen. Out ahead of it, a few scattered thunderstorms do develop. Storm chances as a whole only at 30% on Sunday, but the ones that do develop could pack a punch. We'll be watching that again through the weekend. The front clears late Sunday night, early Monday morning. There's 5 a.m. You see the clouds kind of eroding. That's where the drier air is blasting in, and that colder air is blasting in too. Again, warm tomorrow, warm on Sunday, and then there's the drop off. Highs on Monday only into the mid 60s. We're talking upper 50s and lower 60s for highs on Tuesday. And then by the middle of the week, we are gradually trying to pull out of this chill as we move over the next couple of days towards the middle and latter stages of next work week. In terms of the morning lows, specifically northwest of I-4, for us in Ocala, it's going to be nice and mild next few days. Still pretty good on Monday morning. And then the bottom drops out. We're talking 34. Those are actual air temperatures. When you factor in a very stiff breeze on Tuesday morning, it's going to feel like the 20s. By Friday, though, we are pulling back out of it with temperatures, air temperatures back into the lower 50s. So it is going to be quite cold across Central Florida. There is the forecast for all of Central Florida on Tuesday morning. Again, we're talking low to mid 30s across parts of Marion County, low to mid 40s for the I-4 corridor. This is a serious cold front, again, near record cold for this time of the year. Blasting in on Monday, settling in, the cold this morning anyway, on Tuesday. 86 on Sunday, back to the mid-60s for highs on Monday. Tons of sunshine, guys. This air mass is going to be very, very dry and very cold as well.
It looks amazing. Jonathan, thank you. After the break, a woman on the other side of the state facing charges after falsifying a call to police. Why officials say this is unlike any case they have come across so far.
And we'll show you the moments a suspect fell into the laps, literally, of investigators. That's coming up.
Ouch.
Your weekend evening traffic alert. Listen, y'all, with really good weather, we're going to ramp up that construction. So just please make sure you're paying attention. We have a lot of events going on this weekend, EDC, some sports games, but construction still happening. 417 lane closures. We'll also see the lane closures out on I-4 between the Turnpike and State Road 528. And then those simple lane closures down in Osceola County as you're headed southbound. A little further towards 60, you'll see the lane closures down there, but no major shutdown scheduled. I'm Trooper Steve with your News 6 Traffic Alert. Drive safely. Have a great weekend. I'll catch you Monday morning.
As we take a live look at downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope cam. What a pretty shot out there right now. You're watching News 6 at 5 on a Friday night. We'll be right back.
Well, what started out as a frightening 911 call turned out to be fake.
St. Petersburg police say a woman who claimed that a stranger broke into her apartment and attacked her made up the story. As Kristen Barberseri with our CBS affiliate in Tampa discovered, the woman even created fake evidence to try and prove it.
Officers responded twice in one day to what they thought was a home invasion and sexual assault. But when detectives looked closer at the evidence, they quickly realized the so-called suspect didn't exist.
Last month, St. Pete police responded here to a reported break-in at 32-year-old Brooke Chenault's apartment.
Victim, now suspect, had shown proof of images of a person that she did not know that had entered her home forcibly and had possibly injured her in their way of getting inside her house.
Forensic teams and a canine unit showed up but found nothing. A few hours later, the woman's boyfriend called police back, saying there was more to the story. So officers went out again, and she told them she'd been sexually assaulted. A detective was called in.
That detective then immediately saw the proof or the evidence that she had provided and immediately knew that this was part of a TikTok trend that we're seeing online.
Investigators later found that AI-generated image in her deleted files, created days before she ever called police.
It's a waste of resources. We had officers go out to this home twice in one day.
Lamardo says, unfortunately, creating fake pictures like this isn't hard. In fact, it just takes a couple minutes.
Even though we are suspected that it's false, we're still going to handle it as if we believe it's a real case, go through the process until we have the evidence and the proof that this was not.
Well, a wacky arrest in Indian River County is being tied to a case in Central Florida.
The Indian River County Police Department released this video today of an arrest made earlier this week. You can see the suspect. You see those legs dangling up there?
We see them.
Police say Keith Rogers barricaded himself inside a house after hauling wood using a truck that was stolen from Osceola County. After several hours, he tanked it through the ceiling there. That looked like it hurt. He faces multiple felony charges in Indian River and Osceola.
After a local high school was put on lockdown yesterday, we are learning new information about what exactly happened.
Plus, people in Lake County have been cut off from their homes for more than a week. The relief that is finally on the way.
And later, the discussions happening in Central Florida about the vehicles of the future. As we take a live look at Daytona Beach, you're watching News 6. Keep it here. We'll be right back. Glad you're with us. I'm Lisa Bell.
I'm Matt Austin. You're watching News 6 at 5. We're following several top stories for you right now. Orlando leaders say the Jacksonville Jaguars are coming to downtown. It's a temporary move as the team's home field, Everbank Stadium, prepares for a $2 billion renovation. This is forcing the team to find a new home for the 2027 season. Meantime, Camping World Stadium is undergoing its own $400 million transformation just in time for the team. Funny how that works out. NFL owners still have to approve that move at a meeting in December.
We are now well into the first day of FAA-mandated flight reductions across the country. MCO is part of the 40 airports impacted. The airport is reducing flight schedules today by 4%, but will climb to 10% by next week. According to FlightAware, there have been 58 delays and 29 cancellations so far at Orlando International. And former Orlando City Commissioner Regina Hill refuses to concede following her loss in Tuesday's election. Current Commissioner Shan Rose defeated Hill by nearly 20 percentage points. The canvassing board certified the election earlier today. The results are in. This afternoon, the state's chief financial officer revealed the results of his Orlando audit.
The state's DOGE team is going across Florida looking for waste. News 6 anchor Ginger Gadsden joins us now. So, Ginger, what did they find?
Yeah, Matt and Lisa, the CFO says Orlando has the least amount of waste of the 10 local governments already audited.
The city of Orlando, which has excessively and wastefully spent $22 million, nowhere near what we've seen from the other governments. Nowhere near. They are holding the line relatively close to inflation and population.
CFO Blaise Ngolia says the city added another 245 administrative positions, not including police and fire. Ngolia also says the city's spending isn't as bad as Orange County, claiming it has spent about $190 million in wasteful spending. Ngolia has been critical of both Orange County and the city of Orlando in the past. In August, the city of Orlando turned over 27,000 documents to the state for the DOGE review. Lisa?
All right, Ginger, thank you. A man is dead. The person accused of shooting him out of jail tonight as the Marion County Sheriff's Office investigates a potential stand your ground case. The Marion County Sheriff's Office says they were called to Southwest 49th Avenue, just southwest of Ocala, over a shooting between a driver and another man. That man, a 37-year-old, was taken to the hospital where he died. Officials say the shooter was initially taken into custody but was released as the case is now being investigated as a stand your ground incident.
To Seminole County tonight, where we're following up on this alert from Seminole High School yesterday after the school went on lockdown. And we now know who deputies tracked down this close to campus here and what else his history with law enforcement shows. We're learning a lot today. Your Seminole County community correspondent, Catherine Silver, is live at the jail tonight with the latest on this. Catherine?
We obtained this arrest report for Travarius Holly, and in it, deputies call him a prolific offender. We were here at the jail when he faced a judge for the first time today.
Okay, Mr. Travarius Holly? Yes, sir.
Before Travarius Holly stood in front of a judge at the jail Friday, a detective with Seminole County's Gang and Habitual Offender Task Force spotted this Range Rover with blacked out windows here on Maple Street. Deputies believe Holly was the driver. When he backed out and headed down the street, they tried to stop him, but the sheriff's office says Holly took off. And they watched as he sped through this neighborhood onto Lake Avenue and West 25th Street. And ended here on Chase, where an arrest report for Holly says deputies didn't just find the Range Rover, they also found a handgun that they say was tossed on top of a trash bag. Nothing in Holly's arrest report shows that anything happened at Seminole High School, just in the area, which is why the school district says they sent out an alert Thursday out of an abundance of caution. When we found out deputies arrested a convicted felon who they think had a handgun, we wanted to know more about Holly's past. Online records show he spent time in and out of prison over the last decade, where he served time for carjacking, aggravated assault, and a weapons charge, all out of Seminole County.
Also, you're not to possess any firearms, any weapons of any kind. No ammunition, no firearms, no knives, no nunchucks, nothing of this sort.
Holly is being held here on a $20,000 bond, and you heard the judge. If he does bond out, he will not be allowed to have any weapons. He will also have to get a GPS monitor. We'll keep you updated. I'm live in Seminole County. Catherine Silver, News 6.
Thank you, Catherine. A California man is on his way to Central Florida's jail system, accused of taking advantage of a child he met online. Palm Coast police were called to a home in June of 2023 by a concerned parent who discovered his child had a sexually explicit conversation with an unknown man. That man eventually was identified as Brandon Rodriguez Silva and is believed to have met the child on that gaming platform Roblox, where he convinced that child to talk with him outside the game. Their conversation, we're told, contained numerous sexually explicit texts and photographs. Rodriguez Silva, now 20 years old, was arrested in San Jose, California. He's being charged with transmission of material harmful to minors by electronic device and soliciting a child for unlawful sexual conduct. He's being held without bond pending extradition back to Flagler County. Now, we've covered some of the rising concerns people have had with Roblox, including a criminal investigation by the state and lawsuits filed on behalf of kids. You can find that article on clickorlando.com. Just search Roblox.
Well, help is on the way for a Eustis neighborhood. Your Lake County community correspondent Emily McLeod was there earlier this week as residents demanded action. It comes after 20 homes were evacuated in the Spring Ridge Estates subdivision due to a road collapse last week. As News 6's Mark Lehman shows us, repairs are now on the way.
With a week passing since this washout, there's been a lot of activity happening here on Creek Run Lane. This is a walking path set up for the residents who have been evacuated from their homes. A big reason for all of this is the collaboration between the community and Eustis. The city's fire chief is now saying because of all of this, he's optimistic that families on the other side of the bridge will be able to return home in a few weeks. Here's a closer look at the repairs happening in Spring Ridge Estates. New pipes have been brought in and excavators are digging out dirt. Water has been diverted around the culvert that was washed away October 30th. All of this happened a few days after a record 19 inches of rain fell in Eustis. Last night, city leaders authorized giving money to the community to help jumpstart repairs. While it's private property, the city says it's a safety issue because city-owned utilities run through the culvert and more damage could be done if they waited any longer. Chief Michael Swanson saying this will be a permanent fix.
We're probably going to lay out extra rock and shore that out. And also, a lot of things have changed as far as maintenance and that kind of thing. I think those are going to be addressed. I believe this will be a permanent fix that'll last decades.
There's no final price tag for this project, but the city is putting early estimates between $500,000 to $700,000. The HOA would have several years to pay the city back. Right now, they're looking at seeing what's covered by insurance as well as applying for help from federal resources. And as for the families who have been displaced, out of the 20 of them, 14 are staying with family and friends, and arrangements have been made at hotels for 6 of those families. The goal for all of this is that those families will be able to return home in time for Thanksgiving. In Eustis, Mark Lehman, News 6.
Well, the U.S. Department of Agriculture has announced it's working to fully fund SNAP benefits through November to comply with a federal court order. The agency says the process should be completed later today. This after a weeks-long saga that has threatened vital food assistance for nearly 42 million Americans because of the federal government shutdown. Yesterday, a judge ruled the White House had until today to find the funds to make full payments, which the Trump administration appealed. In the meantime, if you or someone you know needs help with food donations, we've compiled a list of websites to find programs near you. You can find them on our website, clickorlando.com. Search where to find help with food in Central Florida.
Limited oyster harvesting will return in January to some parts of Northwest Florida's struggling Apalachicola Bay for the first time in 5 years. With little discussion, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission unanimously approved rule changes setting the stage for a 2-month season starting January 1st, with future seasons running from October through February. The Bay has long been known for its oyster fishery, once supplying more than 90% of Florida's oysters and 10% of the oysters sold nationally. But the fishery collapsed in 2013, and the bay was closed to harvesting in 2020. Areas of the bay will be open to permitted commercial harvesting on weekdays, with permitted recreational harvesting on weekends.
This limited opening is obviously not the fishery we once
Pat when Apalachicola provided 10% of the nation's oysters. But if we want to get near those numbers again, this conservative approach is necessary.
The state is spending $17.5 million to try and restore oyster reefs in the Bay. Earlier this week, we showed you how Central Florida restaurants are helping to restore oyster reefs in the Indian River Lagoon. You can find that story at clickorlando.com. Just search oyster. A record was just set on the hardwood last night, but maybe not one you would expect.
Yeah, this is different. The Florida-North Florida game last night featured the appearance of one Olivier Roux, who set the record for tallest player to appear in a college basketball game. The 19-year-old Canadian stands at 7 feet 9 inches. You might remember he went viral earlier this year after the Gators won the national championship for not needing a ladder to cut the nets. That's a new one.
When people are commenting on how tall you are on a basketball court, that's saying something,
you're
right?
really standing out. Yeah.
Well, what would you do in your car if you did not have to drive? That could very soon become a reality. The discussions in Central Florida surrounding self-driving cars.
Hopefully it can crank up the heat by itself, because I think we're going to need that once we get into the early stages of next work week. It is nice and mild right now. Coldest air of the season, and it's not even close, arrives Monday morning. We're going to break down how cold it gets at about 5:47.
And the ongoing government shutdown means there are no jobs reports from the government. The insights we are getting on how employment is doing right now. And you can try out the all-new primetime schedule on News 6 Plus. Ginger and I have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight at 9. Go in depth and get your weather questions answered with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas. That happens at 9:30. Then watch the late news an hour early. It's all tonight on News 6 Plus.
And you can download our streaming app for free. Just search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.
All right, let's take a live look at the roads tonight. This is I-4 westbound, right before those Disney exits. This is not the place you want to be. You can see rush hour at 5:44 is in full effect. We know no one likes to sit in this. I get a little ragey myself.
Just looking at it.
I know, my heart rate is beating faster. So what if instead of being stuck behind the wheel, you could read a book or scroll through your phone? I know a lot of people do that anyway, unfortunately.
Autonomous cars are not just the future of transportation, it is the present. And this week, some of the leaders from the industry are meeting right here in Central Florida.
News 6's Angie Casada shows us how Central Florida is positioning itself at the center of this mobility revolution.
Doors closing.
After 3 days of testing, talking, and taking autonomous rides, the FAV Summit is wrapping up at Champions Gate. And organizers say Florida is ready to shift from pilot projects to full-scale deployments. Former state senator Jeff Brandes knows firsthand the potential.
The 23 million residents and 150 million tourists make Florida the perfect state for the deployment of these technologies. That, and it doesn't snow. Right? So snow is a hard problem for this technology. And so we're able to kind of cheat that hard problem by deploying in Florida. So whether it be electric vertical takeoff and landing, which we're talking about, or self-driving vehicles, Florida is going to be the key hub for that conversation.
From self-driving shuttles and delivery vehicles to electric rides and connected road tech, companies from around the country showcased how automation can make communities safer, faster, and more accessible.
Yeah, guys, check this out. There's no hands on the wheel. We're actually riding in one of the autonomous shuttles showcased here at the summit, and leaders say this is the goal. Technology that blends into everyday life, so your morning commute could look a lot more like this.
We feel like seeing is believing. We want people to experience the future of public transportation, being able to sit in our car, listen to this great welcome music, experience a static ride. That's going to really put people over the edge to understand what we're trying to envision.
The summit focused on getting these ideas off the expo floor and onto Florida roads. The Florida Policy Project and Central Florida Expressway Authority say the next step is moving from small pilots to deployments people can use daily. Organizers say they expect new projects, more test sites, and more autonomous vehicles in Central Florida in the next year. In Orlando, Angie Casada, News 6.
All right, we want to check in with meteorologist Jonathan Kegish right now. I think if you had a convertible, whether it was autonomous or not, that would be the way to go tonight.
Absolutely. Fantastic evening tonight. A touch more humidity, but it's certainly not like midsummer levels of that, so it's still pretty comfortable out there. Gorgeous shot tonight in Port Canaveral. If you're not looking at your TV screen tonight, nice color. If you happen to be outside and you snap a photo of the fantastic sunset that we see almost on a nightly basis, download that free News 6 weather app. There's a section called Pin It. You can upload your photos right there and we can show them right on TV, or you can go to clickorlando.com/pins and do that right there as well. Port Canaveral, Brevard County, live look again with our Launch Credit Union camera. All is quiet tonight. Should have a nice quiet night, and for the most part into tomorrow as well. We're back to the upper 70s. We have a mainly clear sky. Some of those clouds are super high, so it's not being picked up on the salometer out there. But nonetheless, we have a very thin overcast across parts of Central Florida. 77 into land right now. Leesburg, good evening. We're back to around 80. Holopah, we are at 78 degrees. Now here's a look at your forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Publix.
Should be a very nice evening again. Temperatures back to the mid-70s. Just a stray opportunity for a quick hitting shower or downpour south and east of I-4. Even then, most of us are going to be dry. 71 by 9. We're back to the upper 60s by 11. I think we stay in the 60s by the time you wake up tomorrow morning as well. 61 in Ocala to start your Saturday. Palm Coast, Bunnell, good evening. We are back into the low 60s as well. High temperatures staying on the warm side again in record territory tomorrow. Missing records likely by 2 or 3 degrees across Central Florida. We're back to the mid to even upper 80s tomorrow. We will be in and out of some clouds. Rain chances aren't zero tomorrow. They're back up to 20%. I still think most of us are going to be dry. Playing that out for you right here. Taking it through the morning, and I think we start things off on the clear note. I do think we will see a few more downpours than what future clouds and rain is depicting here, but still just doing a little dodging tomorrow. I think most of us are going to be on the drier side. We're all warm. Now, once we get into Sunday, I think we're going to increase rain chances a little bit, and we also have the opportunity for the few storms that are out there, and it's not going to be that widespread for a few to be on the stronger side. So I'll be watching that for you guys as we move into Saturday afternoon. You see a few of these darker reds indicating the opportunity for an isolated wind gust, some very heavy rain and some lightning. That's because of this magnificent cold front, this crazy big cold front that slides on through, that's going to take our temperatures from near record warmth to near record cold by the time you wake up on Tuesday morning. So here's the tumble again with the humidity factored in. It's more like the upper 80s on Sunday. And then we take the tumble. The front itself crosses Monday morning. And then when you factor in the wind, it's going to feel more like the 30s northwest of I-4. We could be flirting with the upper 20s with that very stiff northerly breeze factored in. So it's going to be quite the difference when you wake up on Tuesday morning. Mid-30s in Astor, 40 degrees in Orlando, back to the lower 40s in New Smyrna Beach. And then forget about that. We're going to make a run for the low to mid-30s across parts of Marion County, even parts of northern Sumter and Lake County. Quite cold, quite the cold front. 30% chance for a few storms. Again, some of those could be on the stronger side as we move into Sunday afternoon. High temperatures on Monday. We're shaving 20 degrees off of what we're going to be on Sunday, back to the mid-60s. Coldest morning of the bunch is on Tuesday. We are keeping things very chilly on Wednesday morning as well. And then we finally pull on out of that as we get towards the end of the upcoming work week, guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Open your camera app, scan the QR code on your screen right now, and click that link. We want to see your weather pictures and videos. They could end up on TV. You can also go to clickorlando.com/pins and upload your pictures and videos that way.
Still to come, where experts are looking for indicators on the economy during the ongoing government shutdown.
Coming up on Monday, another local city set to sign off on cameras to catch school zone speeders. Where these cameras could be installed, all in the name of safety.
Plus, we've got you covered when it comes to the big time cool down expected early next week.
Candace will have updates every 10 minutes. We'll see you for News 6 Mornings on Monday, starting at 6.
As we take a live look at our Launch Credit Union Port Cam at Port Canaveral, that's downtown Orlando.
Yeah,
and it is
the
lit
EDC
up with EDC
is
already.
going.
It's going to be a crazy weekend in downtown Orlando. You're watching News 6 at 5. We'll be right back.
For the second month in a row, we do not have a latest jobs report because of the government shutdown.
However, alternative reports are giving us a sense of where the labor market stands. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger is here with some insights. Jill, no official jobs report. What are economists watching to judge the current labor market and where it's going next?
Well, they're looking at a report from payroll giant ADP, just released a couple days ago, and that report showed private companies, not the government, adding 42,000 jobs in October. That might seem like a low number, but it actually reversed losses that they reported in the previous 2 months. Interesting, all the job creation came from big companies, those that employ at least 250 workers.
Workers are on edge. What should people know going forward?
The rate at which businesses are hiring is low by historical standards. And of course, if you do lose your current job, you're going to have a harder time finding a new one. So maybe budget into your mind 6 or 9 months. Now, the reality is we have less bargaining power as employees right now than we did when the job market was hot. And so there is a new term that people are looking at when we talk about people in the workforce right now. It's called job hugging. It's holding on tight to your current position, and that may be your best bet in this environment.
And Jill, what steps should these folks take if they fear a job cut could be coming?
I think when you're in this environment, you kind of want to fight the urge to just hide and hunker down and try to be proactive. Focus on what you can control, meaning if someone is asking for a volunteer for a new opportunity in the company or in your organization, raise your hand. And of course, update that LinkedIn profile, fire up your network.
Jill, great advice. Thank you very much. You can see Jill regularly on CBS Mornings and the CBS Evening News. For more analysis, go to JillOnMoney.com.
Ginger Gadsden is in the newsroom with what we are working on for News 6 at 6.
Now, we are already seeing star football players on the field here in Orlando, but we could see the Jags play home games in the coming years. We've already seen the NFL stars take the field at Camping World Stadium, but could one team call Orlando home coming up? And we're live at Orlando International Airport, keeping an eye on flights as we're already seeing delays and cancellations hit airports nationwide. A live look now at EDC at Camping World Stadium from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. Be ready to feel that music. You're watching News 6. We'll be right back. Now at 6, professional football in Orlando.
We just got the word that the Jaguars have decided to move forward with coming to Orlando.
What's left before the Jags start playing home games at Camping World Stadium? Plus, this surfboard is going up for auction, and you won't believe the starting price. And we have our eyes on the sky as delays and cancellations hit flights around the country. News 6 at 6 starts now. It is a big sports night in Orlando with the Magic playing at the Kia Center and the Orlando Pride playing nearby at Inter&Co Stadium.
Now imagine adding professional football at Camping World Stadium into the mix. That could be a possibility in just a few years. We're learning that Jacksonville Jaguars could call Camping World Stadium home for at least a season. News 6's Laverne McGee is live downtown looking at the future of football in Orlando.
That's right. Camping World Stadium is behind me off in the distance. You should see the traffic out here. It's going to be amazing to see what it would be like when the Jacksonville Jaguars come here, because we're being told by Orlando City Commissioner Shan Rose that that is in the plan. So I hope you like wearing black and teal, because it looks like we're pretty close to seeing the Jacksonville Jaguars playing right back there at Camping World Stadium.
We just got the word that the Jaguars have decided to move forward with coming to Orlando. So next is to vote at NFL.
The temporary move comes as the Jacksonville Jaguars home field, Everbank Stadium, prepares for a massive $2 billion renovation. That project is forcing the team to find a new home for the 2027 season. And Orlando will be ready. Camping World Stadium is undergoing its own $400 million transformation. The ambitious makeover will expand seating to 65,000 fans, add premium suites, and wrap the stadium in a striking new metallic exterior. Construction teams will be racing to complete new upper bowls and modernize amenities by summer 2027, just in time for the Jags' arrival.
What separates us from Gainesville, because that was our competitor, is that we're family friendly. And so, like, the players can just come with their family, they can enjoy. It's more to Orlando than just coming to the game.
Okay, so you have to remember that the NFL team owners, they have to vote on this. Now, they're supposed to meet on December 9th. No word on whether or not they'll vote then, or maybe even before that. And Florida Citrus Sports, they're the ones who have been trying to help bring NFL teams to Orlando. They say that they're looking forward and hopeful that those owners go ahead and approve it. Reporting live in Orlando, Laverne McGee, News 6.
Should be interesting. Laverne, thank you. On Monday afternoon, Orlando City leaders will meet to further discuss what those renovations that Laverne just mentioned at Camping World Stadium will be. Here's another look at the renderings. Monday's meeting starts at 1:30.
And luckily, we don't have to wait long for some exciting events in town, though. We told you about the Magic tipping off against the Celtics tonight and the Pride hosting the Seattle Reign in a big playoff matchup. But all of the fun doesn't stop there. The Electric Daisy Carnival, or EDC, is also here this weekend. The city and county want you to be aware that there could be more traffic, as well as a larger security presence to manage the crowds and make sure everyone has a safe weekend. Your Orange County community correspondent Jarrell Baker is downtown to tell us more about the big weekend.
Now, right across the street here on South Tampa Avenue, you can see several people making their way into EDC. It's an event that's going to be stretching multiple days this weekend. However, it's not the only event this weekend. The Orange County Medical Director's Office says that they're working with local EMS, fire, and law enforcement agencies and are fully prepared for the influx of people this weekend. Now, EDC alone is expected to generate over $100 million for the local economy, as well as bring thousands of music lovers from all over. This weekend's festivities also include the Orlando Magic home game, the Orlando Pride's playoff game, and the musical Water for Elephants at the Dr. Phillips Center. Now, while many are at EDC looking to have fun, they're also looking to plan for safety.
Making sure that, they're checking everything they're supposed to. And to be honest, is like mainly safety is just make sure you're with a good group. I think that changes for everything. Even the security is not as good as it needs to. Being with a good group of support that you can be with that are looking out for you.
The city is planning dozens of road closures for these events. Mayor Buddy Dyer recommends that people considering using the many transportation options available to get around and to avoid the area if you don't plan to attend any of the events. Now, here at EDC specifically, there will be multiple first responders on scene. The goal is to make sure you can treat people here if the need arises, so that way you can avoid flooding the local hospitals. We'll tell you more information as it becomes available here in Orange County. Jarrell Baker, News 6.
All right, Jarrell, thank you. So as you are out there on those carnival rides with the strobe lights and very, very little clothes on, the weather is going to be like what, Jonathan Kegas?
It's going to be nice. It's going to be warm at least this weekend. It might be a problem with the whole clothes thing by Monday into Tuesday. It's going to be a little chilly out there. Heading to the Pride game tonight, hopefully ending the evening with a win. It's going to be very nice in the weather department. Just a stray shower, mainly south of the stadium. I think tonight we're 73 degrees by 8 o'clock. We're still by game's end hanging around 70. So a much warmer night than where we've been, and we're going to keep things on the milder side over the entirety of the weekend as well. 80 in Mount Dora right now, 77 degrees in Oviedo. Things start to change a little bit on Sunday. The opportunity for a few strong storms is going to be there, and then that blast of colder air settles in by Monday into Tuesday. We're going to have the forecast as the temperatures drop, guys, coming up at about 6:17.
Thank you, Jonathan. We'll check back in with you in a bit. We're now well into the first day of FAA-mandated flight reductions, and we're getting a real look at how it's impacting people here in Central Florida and across the country.
This map shows the state of our nation's airports right now, and Orlando International Airport has to reduce flight schedules today by 4%. Orlando is in the yellow, but that 4% now has to grow to 10% by next week. News 6's Tylisa Hampton is live at Orlando International tonight with the ripple effect. And Tylisa, what are you noticing out there tonight?
Well, you can see passengers right here behind me. They're hoping that they can make their flight after going through TSA. Some of them that we spoke to earlier, they say this right here is their worst nightmare, seeing red on their board for delayed or canceled flights. Many hoping that those flight reductions will not impact them. As passengers rush to their gates, some could be met with these red lines over their scheduled flight that say delayed or canceled.
It's kind of like playing a little bit like roulette right now when flying.
The Orlando International Airport is among 40 major airports having to cut down on flights by 10%. The FAA noting increased reports of strain on the system from both pilots and air traffic controllers since the beginning of the government shutdown.
Honestly, I think it's ridiculous. They need to get it together and do what they have to do to satisfy the rest of the world. This is crazy.
Many airlines responding to the changes. American says across the board, all the reductions amount to 220 flights canceled each day, noting they would communicate and accommodate with customers. Delta and Southwest giving similar options, and the same goes for United, that states long-haul international flying would not be impacted, but regional and domestic would.
Then yeah, I'm concerned because I need to get home. So that would affect me.
I was really scared because I'm coming in from Baltimore and, people have work.
For some coming into Orlando, it was smooth sailing.
No, I was more nervous flying from BWI to here. But now I'm not worried at all.
Other passengers like them all flying to the EDC festival, hoping flying out won't be a hassle.
We could always rent a car. It's not that far. We could rent a car and drive. Is it? No. I have to get back to work.
And leaving Monday, hopefully.
So earlier on FlightAware, they had about 58 delays, 29 cancellations for those at the Orlando International Airport. So let's say if you are one of the people who are impacted by a flight or a cancellation, a lot of airlines suggest you go to their website to look at your options. Reporting, I'm your community correspondent, Tylisa Hampton. Back to you.
All right, Tylisa, thank you. The reduction to flights is hitting just as the countdown is on for the holiday season. Thanksgiving is now less than 3 weeks away. Somebody's wishing that Thanksgiving was 11 days and 18 hours away, because it's not. But it is close. If you're planning your holiday travel, we want to make sure you know what airports are impacted so you can adjust accordingly. Here's a map of those airports nationwide that will see flight reductions in the coming days. We now know the number of flight shortages will ramp up next week to 10%. Nationwide.
20 days, Matt.
20 days. That makes more sense. All right. Meantime, here's a look at the airports here in the state that will see cuts to flights: Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, and of course, our beloved Orlando. All a part of that 40 high-impact airports. The FAA said flights would be reduced. So what can you do if your flight gets canceled? We're working for you to keep you informed on this matter. Just go to clickorlando.com. We have an article on what you're entitled to on the homepage. The government shutdown is not just leading to questions for travelers. SNAP benefit users have been concerned about their payments for weeks now.
And today we have a better idea of what SNAP benefits will look like, at least in November. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has told states it's working to follow a judge's order to fully fund the benefits through the month. This comes after the Justice Department was appealing the judge's orders, forcing the administration to fully fund benefits by today. The parents of Michael Millett, the Volusia County boy killed by dogs in his neighborhood, are now suing their HOA. According to a complaint just into our newsroom, Millett's parents say the HOA was negligent in failing to keep the front gate in working condition, despite knowing it was broken, allowing the dogs to come into the community from an outside neighborhood. It also alleges the HOA knew there was an issue with the dogs entering the community before the attack happened. The lawsuit seeks damages in excess of $50,000.
Now, former Orlando City leader is pushing back against Tuesday's election. The results are in Orlando, and they are official after the city's canvassing board certified the results for districts 1, 3, and 5. However, Regina Hill has not conceded the race to Shan Rose, claiming the results are not legitimate, even though she lost by nearly 20 points. The former commissioner, who was removed from office last year after she was arrested and charged in connection to an alleged exploitation of an elderly woman. Hill pointed to a sworn statement by someone claiming they witnessed a representative of the Rose campaign engaging in illegal ballot harvesting.
To my neighbors, supporters across District 5, this isn't about rivalry. This isn't about sore losing. This is about right and wrong. No campaign organization or public office should abuse our trust.
Hill says she plans to file a complaint in circuit court contesting the certification. Well, it is a big night in Orlando sports, including on the soccer field.
The Orlando Pride are in the playoffs hosting the Seattle Reign. What players say they are focused on to defend their title, and
for some of the thousands going on a cruise Friday at Port Canaveral, they're worrying if they'll get back home on schedule. I'm your Cape Canaveral community correspondent, James Sparvero. I'll tell you the latest implications of the government shutdown on travel and rocket launches on the Space Coast coming up.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Advent Health, helping the communities we serve to feel whole.
For some of the thousands going on a cruise Friday at Port Canaveral, they're worrying if they'll get back home on schedule. I'm your Cape Canaveral community correspondent, James Sparvero. I just met some guests here from states like Louisiana and Connecticut who, due to the government shutdown and new flight restrictions, tell me they're having a harder time enjoying their trips. How much anxiety might you have right now?
A lot. My brother even told me I'm going to start losing sleep over it.
The situation the country's in right now, does it make it a little harder to enjoy a vacation, just relax?
It does, yes.
Lift off. Thursday, I reported the FAA warned rocket launches would be affected by fewer flights at airports too.
It's going to include restrictions on space launches.
And now we know exactly what Director Brian Bedford meant. As the Space Coast eyes another record for total launches in a year, now the FAA says for the time being, you won't be able to catch a launch between 6 and 10 in the morning.
It's frustrating as a congressman from this area when we're seeing this incredible boon in our space industry to see us not working at 100%.
When the shutdown started, Congressman Mike Karadopoulos told us NASA's crewed Artemis II moon mission would not be impacted. More than 30 days later, given the shutdown's still not over and now we're seeing some launch restrictions, I asked Friday if he still believes that. Are you still confident Artemis II could launch as soon as February?
We are still on target for the February launch for Artemis II, the first time we'll go around the moon since 1972. But what I'm so concerned about, and the reason why I voted to keep the government open, is this just isn't about space, it's about all travel.
I want the government to be open, want business to be open, want to be able to go to and fro.
We have no control over it, so keeping our fingers crossed.
In Brevard County, I'm your Cape Canaveral community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
Well, a chance to own one of the first surfboards owned by one of the greatest surfers of all time. Cocoa Beach's mayor is getting ready to auction off this board that belonged to a young Kelly Slater. Wow. There's Kelly with the board in the early 80s when he was about 10. The mayor says the board was passed down to him when he was surfing growing up. The auction is set to go live next Saturday, the 15th, after the mayor officially unveils Slater's board at the Florida Surf Museum inside the Ron John Surf Shop. I wonder what they'll get for that.
The starting price is $1 million.
Are you being serious right now?
I'm 100%.
I guess I missed that part of the story.
No, it's $1 million.
$1 million for a surfboard.
For that surfboard, that particular surfboard. Everybody's not Kelly Slater. I mean, he changed the game.
It looks short. I don't even think you could surf on it if you were a grown human.
It was his kid board. That's all we're talking about.
Hey, I hope they get $1 million for
it's a, surf now because it's going to be a little too cool in the coming days to do it.
You'll need your wetsuit. Meteorologist John Kikagas has more on that.
Yeah, that's why right here. You see that blue coming up at the top of the country? It's in the 30s and 40s in the upper Midwest, northern plains. That's the arrival of the coldest air mass of the season for the eastern two-thirds of the country. We are still nice and warm, back to the upper 70s. You can stay up to date with the forecast. That will be changing a lot, at least changes to the weather, not changes with the forecast. Breaking down with the free News 6 weather app. But there's the leading edge of that cooler air up closer to Iowa. Ahead of that, it's going to be nice and warm, mid-80s for us on Saturday and Sunday. Rain chances at about 20% tomorrow. We'll see a few passing downpours, maybe a rogue rumble of thunder. Near record high temperatures, though, for this time of the year. Back to the middle 80s, staying in the mid-80s on Sunday. Rain chances going up a smidge. Don't think there's going to be a ton of thunderstorms out there on Sunday, but the ones that do get going could be on the stronger side as a very strong cold front slides back through central Florida. So I'll be watching that for you on Sunday. Sunday afternoon, again, high temperatures into the middle 80s. This front means business, a lot of bite to it. By Tuesday morning, air temperatures are going to be in the 30s and 40s. That 43 is right at the Orlando International Airport. It's going to be colder the further north you are. We're close to records across central Florida. 39 is the record in Orlando. And again, we're going to be very close to that. I think we're staying further away from the record in Daytona Beach, although it's going to be cold. We're at 42 in Sanford, close to our record. Ocala, these are actual air temperatures, low to mid 30s for us. We're going to be very, very close to at least tying, maybe even breaking that record as well. Live look, Port Canaveral, Brevard County with our Launch Credit Union camera this evening. Air temperatures very nice right now into the mid 70s under a mainly clear sky. Now, tomorrow morning, we're waking up to air temperatures into the mid 60s. We're at 62 in Palm Coast and Ellen. We're starting our day at 61 degrees. Now here's a look at your afternoon.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency? You ought to call Strata.
Highs back into the mid-80s. Again, rain chances at 20% with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Slightly better opportunity for those storms again as we move into the day on Sunday, especially into the afternoon. Tropically speaking, we are looking good. No new development expected over the next 7 days. Rain chances again to 30% on Sunday. A few of those could be on the stronger side. You see the difference in temperature, though. By Monday, we are back to the mid-60s for high temperatures. Lots of sunshine, though. Tuesday morning is the coldest of the bunch. That's where we are waking up to 30s and 40s. Wind chills for everybody in Central Florida in the 30s, guys.
That is a doozy. All right, thank you, Jonathan. Well, the big question now is the forecast calling for victories in downtown Orlando?
All right, the Magic, the Orlando Pride. Are we smelling some of that success? We got some big games. Let's join Jamie Say. She is live outside Inter & Co Stadium. Jamie.
Hey guys, yeah, the Orlando Magic are about to kick off in the playoffs. The Magic are hosting the Celtics over at UCF. The football team is hosting Houston. Previews are on the way. But first, welcome back to News 6. Jamie Say with you live in downtown Orlando, outside Inter & Co Stadium, where the Orlando Pride are about to kick off their postseason journey. They host the Seattle Reign at 8 o'clock in the NWSL quarterfinals tonight. And the Pride are hoping for a repeat of 2024 when they won it all. They won the championship, got a victory parade. But this season, 2025, has been more challenging with key injuries and more losses. Still, the Pride believe they can become the third team in the league to repeat as champs, and that road begins tonight.
It's huge motivation. We had the year of our lives last year. We won it all. We had the celebrations, the parade, and we're still very much thinking about that going into this. And it's a brand new year. It's a level playing ground, but we're chasing that high again.
We've
been in really good form going into these playoffs, and so that's giving us confidence. And again, we've overcome a lot of obstacles this year, so that gives us confidence as well in the group that we do have.
It's literally all out because, they only have one game guaranteed. And so I think just the intensity of it all is what sets it apart from just a regular season game. And I think that's where the excitement comes from.
It is busy in downtown Orlando. The Pride play at 8 o'clock. The Magic host the Boston Celtics at the Kia Center at 7. And the Electric Daisy Carnival is right down the road at Camping World Stadium. And a few miles away, the UCF football team is about to host the Houston Cougars in the Space Game. Let's take a live look outside the bounce house as fans get ready for that 8 o'clock kickoff. UCF has never lost the Space Game. The Knights are 8-0 and have typically won this gimmick game, the Space Game, by 30.
I think it's always neat to have a throwback or a alternate, and this one actually has some meaning behind it because of where the universities come from and the rise that the universities has in its roots. So I think it's a neat deal for our institution.
It means a lot. I can kind of describe it like in Florida, Georgia, or an Alabama-Auburn game. You can lose or like a Michigan and Ohio State. You can lose every game, but you better not lose that one game. That game for us is a Space Game. We got to figure out how to get it done.
Again, the Knights are 8-0 all-time in the Space Game, but Houston is a very good team. Cougars coming into Orlando at 7-2. UCF overall is 4-4. Kickoff is at 8 o'clock. A complete recap of the UCF game, the Orlando Pride game, the Magic game, all coming up at 11. Live in downtown Orlando, I'm Jamie Say, News 6. Matt and Ginger, back to you.
Oh, I cannot imagine the traffic tonight.
I hope
downtown.
Jamie has snacks. She's busy tonight.
Yes, she has a lot going on, and so do you. We need some good weather this week.
I think it's going to be pretty good. We are going to do a little more dodging, a couple of downpours tomorrow. Most will be dry. We're warm over the weekend. Rain chances go up to 30%. Just watch out. A few of those could be on the stronger side, those storms that get going. That's because of a pretty strong cold front. You see what it does between Sunday and Monday. Highs only in the low to mid-60s on Monday. We're in the upper 50s and lower 60s for highs on Tuesday. It's going to be Tuesday morning.
That's a big boy cold front right
yes.
there.
This is the weekend to get in your closet and pull all that stuff out.
Freshen it up, dust it out, all that stuff.
Boy, you guys
Thanks,
have fun
Jonathan.
weekends. More news coming up at 9 o'clock on ClickOrlando.com.
Get rid of the mothballs. We'll see you at 9.